Okay, brace yourself. This one might hurt your feelings. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with our Setup for Success. September, this whole month, we are doing a different life lesson learned, or a lesson that I've learned, mostly from business and life, over my last 60 years of experiences. A lot of knocking my head into the wall, a lot of believing and expecting things to be different than the way that they were. Now, this one, I know is going to be a little controversial, but I'm just going to blurt it out. Nobody owes you anything. There is no entitlement. You were born, you're alive. Yep, you could argue that your parents owed it to you to raise you and love you, but guess what? A lot of kids are born and they're not loved by their parents. They're given up by their parents, or they're abused by their parents. Nobody, not even your parents, not your friends, not your relatives, not your teachers, not your bosses, not your government, not your anything you could make up, your charitable organizations, nothing and nobody owes you or me anything. It's entirely up to us to figure out our lives, create our lives, and create what it is that we want in our lives. This whole belief that life should be fair, I thank goodness every day that as a girl, as a young girl, my dad taught my sisters and I that life isn't fair. Life isn't fair and equal for everyone. We don't live in a world, it never has been. Our world in human existence has never been fair, meaning equal, and fair doesn't mean equal, right? It does in some people's mind, but fair is what you put out, what you give out, what you put into the world is what you get back. No more, sometimes more, but definitely no less. What you put into anything is what you get back from that. And so there's this whole sense of entitlement that's going on in our world right now, promised by people that don't have the power, the skills, or the ability to actually deliver on the promises that they're making. I think politicians, bosses, leaders in different organizations, people will say anything and do anything to manipulate us into believing and thinking and following and buying into their programs and their beliefs and their policies, only to find out that when they actually, and I'm talking politicians right now, I guess, get elected, they're going to do whatever in their own best interest, not is what in the people's best interest that they've been making promises to. The only person that owes you anything is you. You owe it to yourself to become the best person that you can possibly be, to become the best version of yourself, to live out the best life, and this is all defined by you. But as far as anybody else owing you anything or expecting them to do something for you, pay for something for you, you know, the whole free government, free insurance, free everything. There is no free anything. Someone has to pay for it, right? Maybe it's not you, so you think it's free, but it's never free. We live in this global world economy. We are all one. We're all connected. So to take from Peter to pay Paul is not going to help Paul in the long run. It's just going to hurt Peter. And maybe that's not a good example, but I think that this is a really, it's a difficult lesson, but we can totally see, I don't know if you can, but if I look around, I see such a disparity between the people that understand that they create their own life and it's up to them to create the life that they want, and the people that think that they're owed a living, that they're owed different things. And I'm talking all different economic walks of life. There are poor people that think that they're owed being taken care of in a living, and there are very, very rich people, filthy rich, I mean, I hate the expression filthy rich, but extremely rich billionaire people that think they're entitled to special treatment, different treatment. And all of that drives me up a wall. If I could climb walls, I'd be climbing the walls right now, because we are all human beings, and as human beings, each and every one of us deserves to be treated with the magnificent beingness that we are. We are all beings, spiritual beings as well as physical beings, and we all deserve to be treated like human beings in a positive way that enriches each and every one of us. But that doesn't mean that it's fair and equitable and everybody's going to have the same thing. Lots of countries, lots of times in the world that has been tried, hasn't worked out very well. Doesn't mean the systems that we live in right now are perfect, of course not, but life isn't fair. It's never going to be fair if you define fair as equal. Life is totally fair. And here's another one to hurt your feelings. Life is totally fair in that you get out of it what you put into it. My kids, it used to drive them nuts, but I would tell them, hey, they didn't love school. I freaking loved school. I loved learning. I didn't understand that my kids didn't love going to school, going to the school system. But I was continually nagging at them, because I did nag as a mom, and trying to teach them that what you put into something is what you get out of it. If you put nothing into your education and into the school system, you're not going to get anything out of it, because the school system doesn't owe you an education. It's up to you to put forth the effort to learn and grow and get the most that you can out of that situation, out of that experience, out of that environment. But it doesn't owe it to you to make sure and guarantee that you're going to get an education. It provides the opportunity for everybody to get an education, but it's up to you individually to decide what you're going to do with that, if you're going to take advantage of that or not. A lot of success in life, I say 80% of success in life, is just showing up and putting forth the effort and trying to learn and grow and see what you can get out of a situation. So if you're thinking that fair means equal for everyone, that is not fair. It is not fair for some people to work really, really hard in their life and then have to give everything up in taxes or whatever form. And a lot of people do. There's a lot of people that work really hard in their life and give almost all of it away to charity. I think that's awesome and admirable, but it shouldn't be expected. You're not entitled to something because you don't do anything to work toward it or to earn it. It's not that hard to stand up and get involved in your own life and participate in your own life. You'll only be rewarded in your life in terms of resources and value by what you put into it. And nobody can do it for you. I think we talked about that the other day. Nobody can feel for you. Nobody can decide for you. Nobody can choose for you. Nobody is responsible for you but you. So I hope your feelings aren't too hurt, but think about this one today. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings and experience with this. Have you ever been in a position where you felt entitled? I think I probably have. When I was younger and growing up, I felt like my parents owed me a living. They needed to help me financially and support me until I could get out and support myself and do things on my own. Was that right? Probably not. But I also worked really, really hard to earn and get out on my own and get on my own 2 feet and to be able to do things myself. I didn't just expect that they were going to give me everything and I didn't have to do anything in return for that. Again, nobody owes you anything. And I'd love to know if you can think of an example where you really truly believe somebody or some entity or something owes you something. Share that in the comments below so we can have a discussion about it. Otherwise, love to know your thoughts on this. Do you believe that somebody owes you something? Somebody owes you anything? Curious to have a Q&A maybe on this. This might be a really fun one to talk about and riff on and see what people's experiences have been. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow with another setup for success, getting ready for our next 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge, October 1st through 31st, right here on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. We will do a free 30-day, make sure you get your wheels spinning and everything in place so that you're guaranteed to be better off after the challenge than before, after any change than before any change. Guaranteed to get results, the results that you're moving toward what you want, not toward what you don't want, because none of us want to go that way. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.